There's a kind of fatigue that sleep doesn't cure, a subtle fragility that hangs in the air, a feeling that your vital energy, your very strength, is draining away without you knowing why. If this message has reached you, know that it is no accident. It is a resonance. It is your inner universe sending a signal that something precious inside you now needs to be protected. Not from an external threat, but from an internal pattern that has left you vulnerable. Cell biologist, Dr. Bruce Lipton offers us a key to this understanding, a truth that happens at a microscopic level but defines our entire life experience. He teaches that our cells operate in only two primary modes, growth or protection. They cannot be in both at the same time. When you live in an environment of trust, love, and well-being, your cells open up to receive nutrients, to communicate, and to grow. But when your energy is constantly drained by fear, anxiety, or the influence of disconnected people and environments, your cells, in an act of biological intelligence, close their membranes. They enter protection mode. The consequence of this is what you may be feeling right now. A body that weakens because it has stopped nourishing itself. A mind that becomes confused because cellular communication has been interrupted. And a spirit that distances itself from the creative field as survival has become the only priority. Gregg Braden complements this view, reminding us that the human heart is the most powerful vibrational antenna we know, capturing and emitting frequencies with every beat. And that is why taking care of the energetic field in which you live is as essential as taking care of the air you breathe. This message reached you because your energetic field is asking for vibrational discernment. It is the gentle but firm call to stop being a sponge that passively absorbs the chaos around you and to start being a source that generates its own field of coherence. The purpose of our meeting is to guide you in this process. It is to help you understand, based on cellular and spiritual consciousness, how your energy is lost, how it becomes contaminated, and, most importantly, how it can be sovereignly rebuilt and protected. To protect your energy, we first need to recognize that it exists as a real, measurable field. Your physical body, which you can see and touch, does not end at your skin. It is merely the densest manifestation of an energy field that surrounds and penetrates you, an invisible biology that Dr. Bruce Lipton has revealed so clearly. The science of epigenetics, which he helped to found, is the definitive proof. Your cells are not prisoners of your DNA. They are, in fact, attentive readers of the environment. They respond to emotional signals, thought fields, and the frequencies of the places you are in. Your energetic environment, composed of the people you interact with, the thoughts you nurture, and the places you frequent, is the true invisible code that is programming your biology at every moment. And the hidden symptom that this field has been violated is exactly what you might be feeling. That fatigue that has no medical explanation, that lingers even after a night of rest. That irritability that arises suddenly, disproportionate to the situation. A mind that feels confused, cloudy, unable to focus. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are tuned into fields that are not yours, that your energy is absorbing frequencies from the environment like a sponge. And herein lies an invisible mistake that many empathetic people make. Confusing the beautiful quality of empathy with a dangerous, energetic fusion. Feeling with another does not require you to get lost in the other. If, upon hearing this truth, the face of someone you love came to mind, remember that it is possible to send this clarity to that person. The universe always finds a way. But how does this energy infiltrate? The mechanism is a fundamental principle of the universe. Resonance. Every emotion, every thought emits a specific frequency. Your brain and your heart, as powerful antennas, tend to resonate with the dominant frequencies of the environment. When your own vibration is unstable, weakened by doubt or stress, your energetic field becomes permeable, porous. You lose your keynote and begin to vibrate at the frequency of the chaos around you. Bruce Lipton calls the effect of this emotional cellular entropy. When exposed to an excess of vibrational noise, your cells lose their own internal coherence, their organization, and their vitality, and begin to disintegrate into a state of disorder. This is why the environment where you live and the people with whom you choose to spend your time are not trivial details. They are programmers of your cellular reality. People and places have specific vibrational signatures. If you constantly remain in an environment where there is resentment, gossip, or chaos, your cells, in their intelligence, learn a single lesson: survive. They enter the protection mode we saw at the beginning. They do not dare to enter the mode of growth, creativity, or healing. The environment, therefore, does not just reflect your internal state. Over time, it reprograms it. It becomes your internal state. And although the external environment is a powerful programmer, the most difficult and, at the same time, most liberating truth is that the biggest leaks in our energy field do not come from the outside in. They are born from the inside out. There is a silent factor that drains your vitality, drop by drop, without you noticing. It is your own thoughts of guilt which keep you anchored in a past that cannot be changed. Thoughts of comparison, which make you feel perpetually lacking. And the constant vigilance of the future, an anxiety that consumes the present in the name of a tomorrow that never arrives. These are the daily micro-energetic leaks. Your energy is not lost in major traumatic events, but in these small and constant concessions of presence. To this internal drain is added a very common spiritual trap, especially among those with an open heart: the so-called neuroenergetic charity. It is the mistake of believing that to help, heal, or support another, you need to carry their weight, absorb their pain, empty yourself so that they can be filled. Helping another from a place of true strength does not require you to become an energetic martyr. The frequency of compassion is not that of fusion, where the fields mix and both are lost. True compassion is that of stable presence, like a lighthouse that stands firm in its own light, allowing other boats to navigate towards it without ever abandoning its own post. And in the modern world, we find a third silent thief of our vibrational integrity: dopamine addiction. Social media, constant notifications, the incessant search for external validation create artificial peaks of pleasure that fragment our mental field. Each time you seek one of these peaks, a rupture occurs in your present attention, a small tear in the fabric of your energy field. Your consciousness, which should be a serene lake, becomes a surface agitated by constant waves, unable to reflect the light of your soul. This is why silence, routine, and focusing on one task at a time are not just productivity practices. They are sacred acts of restoring your vibrational integrity. Upon realizing these internal leaks, it is natural to feel a certain helplessness, as if we are at war with ourselves. And it is to free ourselves from this war that we now need to catalyze a true revolution in our consciousness, ceasing to be passive victims of the field to become its masters. This revolution begins with the deconstruction of one of the greatest myths of spirituality: the myth of negative energy. We have been taught to fear, to protect ourselves from attacks, to avoid charged people and places. But the truth, from the point of view of physics and consciousness, is that there are no intrinsically good or bad energies. There is only coherence or dissonance, harmony or noise. The energy of an environment only becomes negative for you when your internal field enters into reactive resonance with it. What you call an energetic attack is often a vibrational mirror that is just reflecting your own internal escape, your own state of incoherence. Understanding this, energetic protection takes on a completely new meaning. Epigenetics shows us that just as your physical body activates defense and inflammation genes when exposed to a real toxin, your consciousness activates vibrational defenses when exposed to toxic environments. Your energetic system is intelligent. It adapts to the field you choose to live in. True protection, therefore, is not in erecting external walls, in isolating yourself from the world, or in using amulets with fear. The most impenetrable protection that exists is the elevation of your own internal coherence. It is to generate from within a field so stable and harmonious that the dissonant frequencies of the outside simply do not find a resonance in you. They pass through your field without finding a place to attach. And that is why the most fatal mistake we can make is to try to protect ourselves out of fear. Fear in itself creates the exact same low-vibration field we are trying to avoid. As Bruce Lipton explains, the brain does not distinguish between a real fear and an imagined fear. To your biology, thinking about being energetically attacked is the same as being attacked. Both scenarios activate the cellular defense mode, release cortisol, and shut down your system for growth and healing. Trying to protect yourself with fear is like trying to put out a fire by throwing gasoline on it. True protection is not born from tension, contraction, or vigilance. It is born from awareness, expansion, peace. We arrive then at the central metaphor that changes the whole game, the key that returns our sovereignty to us. Imagine that your heart is a quantum antenna, the most powerful transmitter and receiver in the universe. What you emit inevitably defines what you pick up. If you emit the frequency of anxiety, your antenna tunes into the stations of chaos, and you pick up more reasons to feel anxious. If you emit the frequency of presence, of gratitude, and of coherence, your antenna tunes into the stations of harmony, and you begin to pick up synchronicities and peace. Protection, therefore, is not about fighting the infinite stations that exist out there. It is about consciously choosing the frequency of your own transmitter. It is an act of internal mastery. This is the moment when you cease to be a passive receiver and assume your power. If you feel this truth in your being, seal this new understanding by writing in the comments the phrase, "I am the source." And when you assume your power as the source, the question changes. It is no longer, how do I defend myself? But how do I generate the frequency of my own sovereignty? The answer lies in an internal alchemy, a spiritual technology that modern neuroscience is beginning to prove. It is a practical exercise, a shield of heart coherence that you can activate in seconds based on the teachings of Gregg Braden. Wherever you are, take a deep, slow, conscious breath and bring all your attention to the center of your chest, to the space of your heart. Now, bring to your mind a genuine feeling of gratitude, of care, or of love for something or someone real in your life. Feel this emotion fill your chest. And then, imagine a soft, protective light expanding from your heart, like a sphere, enveloping your entire body and your energetic field. In a matter of seconds, this act of presence and elevated feeling reorganizes your electromagnetic field, transforming it from a chaotic and permeable state to a state of high coherence, a vibrational self-defense born from peace. This is the most powerful tool you possess. Therefore, you might want to save this video in your personal library so you can return to this shield of light whenever you need it. The effectiveness of this practice is not a fantasy. It is a lived reality for countless people who have learned to transition from energetic sponges to conscious channels. Think of the symbolic story of a therapist, a natural healer, who spent years of her life feeling a chronic and overwhelming fatigue. She loved her work, but each session left her completely exhausted, as if the pain of her patients became her own. One day, exhausted, she realized the truth. She was trying to heal others with her own vital energy, offering her field as a reservoir for them to drink from. That's when she learned, and began to apply the techniques of breathing and heart coherence before and after each session. She learned to be a lighthouse, not a reservoir. The change was miraculous. She not only regained her energy and purpose, but her ability to help others became even more potent. The great lesson of her journey is this: protecting yourself is not about ceasing to serve. It is about learning to be a clean and stable channel without becoming the sponge that absorbs the storm. The inspiration that stories like this bring us is the heart of our journey together. If you feel the call to continue nourishing yourself with this consciousness, this is a good time to subscribe and not miss our next step. This story leads us to the final practice, the continuous act that sustains all our protection, the return to vibrational integrity. During the day, your attention scatters, your energy fragments, you get lost in conversations, in worries, in frequencies that are not yours. The act of gathering your presence, of bringing your consciousness back to your body, to your heart, is the most profound act of self-love that exists. Your energy is restored, not when you receive something from the outside, but when you return to fully occupy your own field. Healing, protection, and peace begin the exact instant you decide not to get lost anymore. We arrive, thus, at the heart of our message. True protection is not a wall, it is a state of being. It is the coherence of your presence. Bruce Lipton teaches us that each cell of your body is a unit of perception, a small conscious being reading the environment. And Dispenza complements this, proving that the coherence between the heart and the brain creates a high-frequency electromagnetic field, naturally impenetrable to vibrations of lower coherence. Protecting your energy, therefore, is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about learning to maintain your vibration in integrity, even in the midst of chaos. It is understanding that the external world only changes when you become, in yourself, your own unshakable field of stability. This message reached you because it was time to stop donating your vital energy to that which does not expand you. True protection is an act of lucidity. It is remembering who you are before the world tries to convince you otherwise. May your journey be blessed. Come back when you feel the call and tell us how it has flourished.